Happy Saturday. So since it's Saturday, this week's vibe is inspired by the internet. And so I'm going to do 2016. And I was a grown adult in 2016. So it's kind of me in 2016. I'm going to insert some photos of actual me from 2016 so you can see where we're starting from. And then I've gone through my makeup collection and kind of pulled out some things that may not have existed in 2016, but are a similar vibe to what I used then. First, we will start with the Beverage. I loved LaCroix in 2016, any flavor of LaCroix. Unfortunately, I do not have any LaCroix in my house right now, so the closest I could get was a Topo-Chico, which is, sparkling mineral water. This one is Tangerine Ginger. Yep, it says tangerine juice from concentrate along with filtered carbonated water, natural flavors, ginger extract. So get a little bit of vitamin C along with our. All right, here's to 2016. Delightful. Man, that ginger is really noticeable. Very pleasant. For scent, I thought this was kind of fitting. There were several scents that I really liked in 2016, but the one that I chose for today is Elizabeth and James Nirvana White. I figured with the popularity of the Row that an Olsen Twins fragrance was fitting. This is described by Frangetica as a musky floral fragrance composed of peony, lily of the valley, and musk, designed by Honorine Blanc. Okay. It is very white floral, but at the time, I felt like more complex than white florals I had smelled before. This is actually a roller ball. Yeah, you definitely smell the peony, and there is like a musk note to it. Something kind of sweet, too. It's kind of a nice contrast in that the white floral and peony is kind of a light, airy smell, but then it is grounded in kind of a musk. There is no real wood note to it. Almost all of the scents that I wear more regularly today do have an underlying wood note, and I notice it not being there. But it isn't a hollow scent because there are those musk notes there. It's not overly musky, though. The floral part is far more dominant. It's just that the musk keeps it from being too ethereal, keeps it kind of grounded. Okay, so now let's get to the look. I'm wearing the closest thing I have to a choker at this point in time, garnet. I think this is from the Sundance catalog, so that's dating me, because I think they went out of business. Maybe they still exist. I don't know. But my husband got this for me, so even though it's not a length that I wear anymore, I keep it because it was a gift and I like it. I'm wearing my flannel. I think very similar to current trends. 90s were kind of coming back a little bit in 2016, so it actually wasn't that hard to find things that I would have worn then. I didn't do a ton of skin prep in 2016. I have put on moisturizer and sunscreen because I don't go out with those anymore. But there's no need to do them on camera. I wouldn't have done them in 2016, but I would have put on primer. I always wore primer in 2016. The only primer that I currently own is this Benefit Pore Professional, and I think this existed in 2016. So I'll start with that. All right, you already got that blur going on. I was a big fan of the Lancome Tint Idol original version foundation around 2016. I don't have that anymore. The closest thing that I have that would be a medium to full coverage, non-dewy foundation would be the Prada. Going back in time, pull it back out. And the Prada is not full coverage, it is medium, but since I mostly wear skin tints now, and then use concealer on my red areas, I just don't have anything close to that fuller coverage other than this. And it also has, it says a soft matte finish, but I feel like it's very skin-like. It's not matte. I did not wear concealer in 2016. You know, I was going to turn 40 that year, so 39, 40. I wasn't as concerned with dark circles under my eyes. I was kind of past the hormonal acne. I didn't really have that, so I just didn't really feel the need to conceal stuff beyond my foundation. So I am not going to put on concealer today. I'm just going to go with this. I feel like that's pretty even. All right. Okay, I did not do any kind of bronzer or contouring in 2016. But I was into blush. I don't think there's ever been a time in my life that I haven't been into blush. So I was already using cream blush at that point. So here is, I don't think I had this particular color, but I know I had others by them. So I'm going to use the Bobbi Brown Pot Rouge for lips and cheeks. And this is in shade 41 Blushed Rose, which is just kind of a neutral dark pink color. And I'm going to start with my fingers. And I wouldn't have gone back as far with my blush then either. So I'm going to keep it primarily on the apples of my cheeks. In a lot of ways, my makeup was less complicated then. That works. I didn't use loose powder in 2016. One of my compacts of pressed powder. This is from Make, which didn't exist in 2016, but it's just the Make compact pressed powder. And I know I didn't have like a big fluffy powder brush. I think I actually used this brush. So it's an old brush. It's a travel brush, and you know, it comes like this, and then you can make it fluffy. So I would have done something like that. Yeah. I didn't do anything then to try to kind of pull my features back out. I've always been super pale, so super pale it is. Eyes-wise, I was really into mauve. So I pulled out, you know, kind of that pinky brown color. I pulled out the Natasha Denona I Need a Nude palette because I thought this would kind of give me that pinky brown that I used a lot in 2016. So maybe something like stone here. And done that in the hollow, like in there. And I would have gone a lot further in than I would today. I'm also using a Real Techniques brush because I found these, and at the time I didn't use any natural hair brushes. So I thought, oh, I'll try and use these today. Okay. Different. All right, that's a lot. Okay. So we've got the pinky brown mauve-ish color there in the crease. And then I'm going to use a lighter color. So this meh. Oh, it's mesh. That's not nearly as fun as meh. All over the lid. Slightly darker color. Okay. Okay. I would have put some glitter or something in the middle. So I'm going to use this color Whisper. And kind of do that all over the lid. I used to use these pink mauve tones all the time, and I hardly use them at all anymore. I forgot. I think I just overdid it. Need some brow help. So I did do my brows in 2016, but I was doing them with shadow. So, and specifically I used MAC Croquette, but I don't have that anymore. So I have my MAC Neutrals palette, and I thought that Wedge is probably as similar as I'm going to get to a Croquette. And I just put powder in my brows. I was also much blonder in 2016, so I wouldn't have used something this dark and brown, but I'm not blonde anymore, so yeah, this is my trusty travel MAC brush that I used to use that exact brush. Okay. And then a little, just gonna brush it in a little bit. I use the Glossier eyebrow gel then too, but I don't have that with me. And I use the blonde shade. So my eyebrows weren't really that defined. In terms of liner, I was really into a liquid liner. So I don't even know what brand this is, but I'm just going to use a black. And I didn't know about tubing mascara yet, so just would have used a regular mascara. Here's a Clinique High Impact Zero Gravity. It was in a silver tube, so maybe it's this kind, but I've always had very sensitive eyes, and Clinique has been good at not irritating my eyes. Achieving probably the thing that was most important to me in 2016. I'm so glad that that time is done. I'm so much happier with where I am. I'm not feeling the need to just keep climbing anymore. I would want more blush. I always want more blush. The blush shows up so much more on the camera than it does in real life. That is such an extreme there. Okay. Hopefully, some of that is just me rubbing it. And once I stop rubbing, things will calm down a little bit. Color-wise, maybe not. Get that powder brush back out. Oh, I know the thing that I haven't done yet, besides lips. Well, let's do lips first. As I said, I was really into kind of pinky browns, mauves. So I'm going to use Merit Matte in Maison, which is a kind of neutral mauve-y tone. I didn't use any lip liner then, so I didn't pull one out today. Oh, and then as a final touch for this makeup look, have to have the highlighter. Highlighter was the thing in 2016. So I found this one that is not subtle, like a highlighter I would use today. It's Fenty Beauty in the original Metal Moon. I'm going to use a brush that's probably way too big for highlighter, but that's what I would have used then. Oh yeah. Put it up here. This is just not picking it up like I was hoping. Let's try this brush instead. Want the blinding 2016 highlight. There we go. And then I'm going to use this in the inner corner. This actually is not that. Oh, there we go. All right. Okay. So all we have left is the hair. I could make it blonde, but let's see what we can do in terms of making it seem like I. Okay. And then the piece de resistance are glasses that I still have from 2016. Have a good Saturday.